A Jack Russell Terrier can jump 5 feet straight up from a standing position. It can dig through 6 inches of packed earth in under 2 minutes. It can hear a mouse moving inside a wall from across the room. And right now, somewhere in your house, this extraordinary little athlete is lying on the couch with its chin on its paws, staring at the wall. Because you did something 10 minutes ago that broke its heart. And you have no idea what it was. Stay until the end and you will learn the one daily habit that makes your Jack Russell think you do not respect it. The specific tone of voice that triggers a stress response bred into them since 1819. And the single thing most owners do at bedtime that their dog interprets as abandonment. Let us start with the one that surprises people the most. You ignored their alert bark. Your Jack Russell ran to the window and started barking. You said, "Quiet!" Maybe you yelled it. The dog stopped barking. You went back to your phone, and in that moment, you told a 200-year-old working dog that its primary job does not matter. Here's what you need to understand. The Jack Russell Terrier was created by Reverend John Russell in Devon, England, for one purpose: to find foxes underground and bark until the hunter arrived. The bark was not a nuisance. The bark was the entire point. Every Jack Russell alive today carries that genetic instruction. When they hear something, they report it. When they see movement, they sound the alarm. This is not excitement. This is not bad behavior. This is a dog doing the only job its bloodline has ever known. When you silence that bark without acknowledgement, without walking over, without looking where the dog is looking, you're telling a soldier that his reconnaissance does not matter. Studies from the University of Lincoln in 2016 showed that dogs whose alert behaviors are consistently ignored develop higher baseline cortisol levels. They become anxious, not because they are neurotic, because their purpose has been denied. The fix is not complicated. Walk over. Look where they are looking. Say, "I see it. Good dog." Then redirect. That sequence takes 8 seconds. It preserves their dignity as a working animal, and it drops their cortisol by measurable amounts. Now here is the second thing. You change the routine without warning. Jack Russells are not golden retrievers. They do not go with the flow. A golden will shrug if dinner comes an hour late. A Jack Russell has an internal clock accurate to roughly 15 minutes, and when that clock says 6:30 and the bowl is empty, something is wrong. This is not neuroticism. This is predator scheduling. Foxes are crepuscular. They move at dawn and dusk. For 2 centuries, Jack Russells were fed and worked on a rigid hunt schedule. Their circadian biology is calibrated to expect events at specific times. A study published in Applied Animal Behaviour Science in 2019 found that terrier breeds showed significantly higher stress markers when feeding schedules were disrupted compared to retriever and herding breeds. The Jack Russell topped the list. Third, you pulled them away from a smell. The Jack Russell nose contains roughly 220 million olfactory receptors. Yours has about 5 million. When your dog stops on a walk and puts its face into a patch of grass, it is reading a newspaper. Who was here? When? What they ate? Whether they were healthy? Whether they were afraid? Yanking the leash is not keeping the walk moving. It is slamming the newspaper shut mid-sentence. The dog does not understand your schedule. It understands that you just interrupted the most complex sensory experience available to its species. Research from the Dog Cognition Lab at Barnard College showed that dogs allowed to complete sniffing behaviors on walks showed lower heart rates and fewer displacement behaviors, like excessive licking and paw chewing afterward. Let them finish the paragraph. It takes 30 seconds. It buys you hours of calmer behavior at home. Fourth, you used a high-pitched, excited voice and then did not play. Jack Russells are the most voice-responsive terrier breed. When you come home and squeal, hi baby," in that high register, you have just activated prey drive. Not affection, prey drive. That pitch mimics the frequency of small animal distress calls. The dog's brain floods with dopamine. Its muscles tense. Its pupils dilate. It is ready to chase, grab, shake, kill. And then you sit on the couch. The dog has been chemically primed for action, and you gave it nothing. This is not disappointment. This is neurochemical frustration. Repeated false activations lead to what veterinary behaviorists call arousal dysregulation. The dog can no longer tell the difference between real excitement and false starts. It becomes reactive, jumpy, bitey. And the owner says, he is so hyper. He is not hyper. He has been overpromised and underdelivered to 6 times a day for years. Fifth, you compared them to another dog. Not out loud, obviously, but you looked at the neighbor's calm Labrador lying on the porch like a sandbag, and you sighed, and your Jack Russell saw that sigh. Dogs read human microexpressions with an accuracy that approaches clinical levels. A study at the University of Helsinki, published in 2022, used eye tracking to show that dogs process human facial expressions in the same temporal pattern as human infants. They see the sigh. They see the tension in your shoulders. They do not know you are comparing breeds. They know you are dissatisfied. And for a dog whose entire evolutionary purpose is to please one specific handler, that dissatisfaction lands like a verdict. Sixth, you created them during the interesting part. Company arrived, the doorbell rang, the house filled with new smells, new voices, new energy, and you put the Jack Russell in the crate. For a breed that was built to investigate, to patrol, to be present at every event, the crate during social time is solitary confinement. You can crate a Jack Russell for sleep. You can crate them during your absence, but crating them while life happens on the other side of the door is something they experience as punishment, even when you do not intend it as one. Seventh, you stopped playing the games they invented. Your Jack Russell brought you a sock. You ignored it. It brought a ball. You tossed it once and went back to your screen. The dog sat there with the ball at your feet, staring at you. That stare is not demanding. It is hopeful. Jack Russells are one of the few breeds that invent games spontaneously. They create rules. They modify them. This is not randomness. This is cognitive play, the kind that only appears in species with high executive function. When you refuse to participate, you are rejecting the most sophisticated social offering the dog can make. It designed an activity specifically for the two of you. It brought its best idea to the table, and you scrolled past it. Eighth, you laughed at them when they failed. The jump they missed, the ball that bounced off their face, the zoomies that ended in a wall collision. You laughed. Your friends laughed. You filmed it. Jack Russells are acutely aware of human laughter, and they can distinguish laughter with from laughter at. A 2021 study from Eotvos Lorand University in Budapest demonstrated that dogs respond to derisive laughter with avoidance behaviors, lowered tail posture, and gaze aversion. Your Jack Russell knows when you are laughing at it, and it remembers. Ninth, you replace them. A new puppy, a new baby, a new partner who gets the couch spot. Jack Russells are one-handler dogs. Reverend Russell bred them to work with a single huntsman, not a pack, not a team. One dog, one human. When that bond is diluted, the Jack Russell does not spread its love around like a golden retriever. It contracts. It becomes possessive, reactive, withdrawn. Not because it is jealous, because its operating system has one slot for primary handler, and that slot was full. And now it is being asked to timeshare. 10th, you gave up on them, the hardest one to hear. You stopped training. You stopped challenging. You stopped asking anything of them. The Jack Russell sat in a house where nothing was required of it, where no task was given, where no mission existed. And slowly, that 200-year-old hunting instinct turned inward. The digging became destruction. The barking became compulsive. The energy became chaos. A Jack Russell without a job is not a pet. It is a crisis looking for a location. Here is the truth that sits underneath all 10 of these. Your Jack Russell does not want comfort. It does not want to be spoiled. It does not want a soft life. It wants to be useful. It wants to report, to chase, to solve, to play, to work alongside one human who takes its instincts seriously. Every item on this list is a version of the same wound. You made me feel unnecessary. If you recognize yourself in any of these, the fix is not guilt. The fix is engagement. 10 minutes of structured play, a puzzle feeder, a walk where they lead, a moment where you look where they are looking and say, good dog. Subscribe to Russell Mind. Because if you do not, your Jack Russell will dig a tunnel from your backyard to the neighbor's yard, steal their shoes, bury them in your garden, and frame the cat.